I'm Sandy Bridges, and for this year's Gisela Meets Holiday program, I'm going to be showing you how I do my holiday cake. Normally, I would do a 2-tier layer cake, but because of COVID-19 restrictions and etiquette at small dinner parties, I've decided to go the route of cupcakes. Now this beguiling cake is a fan favorite, and I am excited to show you how to put it all together. Let's talk about the ingredients you might need to get this in action. Ground beef, or your choice of meat substitute. I purchased 1 pound of ground beef from my local butcher. You need 1 large or 2 small yellow onions, 1 clove of garlic, watch out for the vampires at your holiday party, 5 Prince Edward Island russet potatoes, 1 beet, dried basil herb, dried oregano herb, chili peppers, or your choice of heat. I have here Thai chilies. Okay, we'll need olives, basilic, 2 eggs, panko breadcrumbs, olive oil, butter, and some salt and pepper. And that is about all you're going to need to get started on Sandy Bridges holiday cake. So to start with this recipe, I'm going to take the onions here. We're going to take the peels right off of these. And you don't have to get too fancy with chopping them up, because they're all going to go right into the blender. Also, you don't have to be crying with all the onions. And careful with this paper, I just got some of it in my panko. Now these peels are compostable, which is nice because then you're doing something for the planet. Okay, now I'm going to chop these into chunks, just like this. Just rough is just fine. We're also going to put the garlic in here. Chop that up. Just even it in half, even crush it a bit. Crushing garlic releases the flavors. I'm going to put in my Thai chilies. I'm going to put in my dried oregano and basil. Okay. I'm going to put inside of here a nice glob of olive oil. I'd say about 2 tablespoons. Alright, this is interesting. I'm crack an egg in here. So that's compost, and now I'm going to put it all into the blender. Get it all in there. Now, this might be loud, so get your ears ready. Okay, once this is nicely creamed, we can go ahead and pour it right over top of our meat here, or your meat substitute. Now we'll just get this all nice and out here. You don't want to waste any of this nice oniony herb garlic goodness. Now's the time we'll also put in the panko breadcrumbs. I use about a 3/4 cup for 1 pound of the beef. Now the best way to traditionally mix your meats is with your hands. Make sure you've washed them well and you've rolled up those sleeves. You really want to mix them nice and good there. Get all the breadcrumbs and the meat intertwined with the spices and the herbs. It's quite magical. Now look what a wonderful cake batter. Look at this beautiful cake batter. These are going to make the most wonderful cupcakes, and you will see for yourself. Alright, once we have this beautiful cake batter, we're going to go ahead and get it into the cupcake trays. I have these ones here. Now the trick is, you want them to be about a tablespoon or two, maybe 1.5 tablespoons. Almost like a meatball. And you just plop them right in there. The thing is, if they come out in different sizes, what'll happen is some of your balls will be burned and some of your balls will be raw. And we don't want either way. We want uniform balls for the perfect Sandy Bridges holiday cake. So our little cakes here are going to be in the oven for about 40 minutes at 375 degrees Celsius, or until your desired dryness occurs. While those are baking, we're going to start on the icing. Take your beet, okay, leave the skin on and throw it in some boiling water. The reason we boil the beet with the skin on is because it retains its color and its essences. Now let's move on to our potatoes. Grab your Prince Edward Island russet potatoes and peel them. So I have pre-peeled my potatoes for the program, but if you have a good peeler, it shouldn't take you too long. Now we're going to dice these potatoes up, and it's called dicing because they end up a bit like the size of dices of when you play games, when you gamble. If you're a gambler, lucky number potatoes. Now you're going to want to throw these potatoes in the boiling water as well. And if you're lucky, they'll end up done at the exact same time as the beet. Alright, once your beet has been boiled, the skin comes off just like butter. But I do recommend putting on some gloves for this one, because if you don't, your hands will be purple for weeks. So we're just going to give this a peel. Look how easily that comes off of the skin there. It's like a baby, the sack after the child is born. We're going to chop this up a little bit as well. Just like this, enough. And we're going to bring over our potatoes. We'll toss in the beet. Okay. A little bit of butter here. Okay, we're going to put the butter all right in there. Got a little salt. And we're just going to mash it up a little bit here. Oh yeah, it's a little bit warm. Ooh. We're going to put this in the blender. And if it's a bit too thick, you can add some milk or some water to it. Let's try. Did you ever hear about Purple Penny? Penny's little piggies were purple for plenty long for playing with her purple beets. Now, once your cakes and your icing have cooled, look at that. It's the perfect texture. You're going to want to put it in a piping bag. Now, if you don't have a piping bag such as this, with a nice rosette end, you can easily use a Ziploc bag with a whole kit in it. Look at that. Icing these is just the favorite part of Sandy Bridges' homemade cakes. Oh, wow, would you look at these beautiful holiday cakes? I'm just gonna garnish these with an olive basilic. Now I got these at my local deli. So if you want to, you can reheat these for about 20 minutes before serving them to a small holiday party. Or you can pack them up to go to send to loved ones in to-go boxes. Now, I'd like to wish all of you the happiest of holidays and the best of tidings in your 2021. Catch you next time.